Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So this is the part 2 of my full stack 1 project, and today we are going to complete rest of the feature that I had promised in the part 1. So if you haven't watched the part 1 of this MERN stack project, then please watch that one before you proceed. I will provide the link of part 1 in description. So this is the application where I have left in the part 1, and in my other tab, so this is the deployed version of this application. So you can see that I have added some more feature in this current application. So I have implemented the search functionality. So let's search a tour here. So you will get that search tour. So let's go back to the home page, and user can also like the specific tour. So you can like this tour. So we are also going to implement the like functionality. We have also introduced a pagination in our current application. So you can click on next so that you will able to see the other next 6 tour. And if you click on next again, then we will have some more tour. So overall we have around 14 tour or 13 tour in this current application. So you can see that we have got our rest of the tour. Now let's click on read more. So inside this single tour page, we have also added some more feature. So we have added this related tour section, and we have also added the Disqus comment system. So in this application, we are going to add a Disqus comment system in order to post a comment. And we have added this related tour section as well. So we are going to show the tour related to this specific tour based on this tag. So whatever the tag we have over here, so we are going to show the related tour under this section. And you can also post a comment here. So you can post a comment here like, this is nice tour. Okay, so your comment will get added over here. And we have also added one more feature. So if you click on any tag, so you will able to see all the tours related to that specific tag. So this feature also we are going to add in our current application. So let's click on home page. So this is the overall feature that we are going to build in today's video, and we will complete all the functionality that I had promised in the part 1. And once we complete this feature, then we are going to deploy our backend to the Heroku, and the frontend we are going to deploy in Netlify. So before we start working on the rest of the feature, if you haven't subscribed this channel, then please subscribe my channel and like the video as well. So without wasting any time, let's work on this feature. So guys, now I'm going to start with the search functionality in our current application. So first I'm going to work on our backend. So first I will create API. So let's work on this controller. So I will have one controller whenever user want to search any tour. So let's export const get tours by search. Okay, so it will be async. Okay, and it's gonna having request response. So we are going to receive a search query from request.query. So from request.query we are going to receive our search query. Okay, search query. And after that, let's use a try catch, and inside try we wanted to search the tour based on the title. So const title equal to, here I'm going to use regular expression. So new regular expression, and I'm going to pass the search query that I'm receiving in the query, and it will be I here. So we wanted to send all the tours that have user search with the title. So here we can use await and tour model dot find, and here we can pass the title. So we are implementing the search functionality in our application with title. So whenever user search with any title, so it will send the tour when the title match. So basically in search query we are receiving the title from our UI, and user can only search the tour with title. So here we are going to send all those tours whenever we have matched the title. So response.json, and we can send the tours. Okay, now what we have to do, so in catch, if we have any kind of error, so we can send this one as well. So in catch block we can send status 404 if something went wrong. So response.status 404 JSON, and we can give here message like something went wrong. Okay, so this is completed, I guess. So I have created this get tour by search inside this controller, that is update tour. So let's cut this one, okay, and paste it outside. Okay, so our controller is ready. So let's register the API in our tour.js file, and here we can have that one like router.get, it will be search. Okay, and we have to pass the controller here, get tours by search. And guys, I wanted to separate a API here which have auth and which don't have auth. So let's cut this one and let's paste here. Okay, and let's put it here. Okay, so for this API we required authentication, and for this API we don't require any kind of authentication. Okay, so we are done with our backend. Now let's work on the front end. So first we have to create a search input field over here in our header. So we have to start working in our header component. So let's go into the VS Code, and I'm going into the header first. Okay, and here we have to add that search input field. So first we have to define a state for our search input field. So const search set search, it will be empty initially. Now let's define our search input field. So our search input field will be here after this mdb navbar nav. So I'm going to have one form. Okay, and I'm going to have one class name with d-flex and input group w-auto, and we are going to have onSubmit method which will having a method like handle submit. Now after that what we have to do, so I'm going to use here HTML input component, and let's give here type, so it will be text only, and class name I'm going to give here form control, it's a bootstrap class name. Placeholder I'm going to give here search tour. Value, let's give here value. So we have already defined a state value for this input field, and we are going to have onChange method. So it's gonna having a event, and we can do like set search e.target.value, and after this we are going to have one icon for search icon. So let's give here div, and I'm going to provide here inline style. So it will be like margin top 5 pixel, then margin left it will be 5 pixel, and inside this div I'm going to have icons, mdb icon, and I'm going to use font awesome icon, and it will be search. Okay, so let's first define this handle submit before we go into the browser. So const handle submit, and this will receiving a event, and let's do e dot prevent default to prevent the default behavior of browser, and we can go into the browser and verify whether we are able to see this search input field or not. So now we have got our search input field, but we have to adjust some styling in our application for this link. Okay, so what we have to do here, so let's go into the VS Code first, and I'm going to increase a little bit margin top for this logged in as user, so it will be 27, and we have to also adjust the styling for this class name, that is header hyphen text. So let's go into the index.css file, and it will be 17 only. Okay, now let's go into the browser, refresh this one. So now it's all looks good, so we don't have any issue with the styling now in our header. So we have placed this search input field in our header component. Now we have to start working on enabling the search functionality in our application. So we have to first register a route for searching the tour, and after that we are going to start work on our Redux part. So we have to register a route in our app.js file for implementing the search functionality. So in app.js, what we have to do first, so I'm just going to copy this one, and it will be search, and we are going to render the same home component. Okay, now after that what we have to do, so we have to start work on our Redux part. So I'm going to start with the API part, and let's create one API here. So we are going to have a API for search here, like export const get tours by search, and we are going to receive a search query from our header component, and API dot get. So our endpoint is like tour search with search query. Okay, and here we have to pass the search query. Okay, so let's forward this one, and now we have to work on our tour slice. Okay, so let's go to the feature folder, and here in tour slice we have to create an action here. So I'm just going to copy this one, and let's paste it over here, and it will be like search tour. Okay, and it will be search tours, and we are going to receive only one argument from our header component. So we can just mention like this search query, because we are receiving only one argument from our header component. So search query we are going to receive, and it will be get tours by search, and here we can pass our search query, and we have to remove this two line, we don't need here. Now we are going to handle the three lifecycle in our extra reducer, which is get generated by this create async thing. So in extra reducer object, what I can do here, so I can just copy this lifecycle. Okay, and I can just paste it over here, and it will be search tour. So make sure to change this one, so it will be search tours, search tours, search tours, and the rest of the thing will stay as it is. So we have created this action. Now we have to dispatch this action from our header component. So let's go into the header component, and here what we have to do, so in our handle submit, we have to check here like if you have the search. Okay, so if you have the search, then dispatch, it will be like search tours, which is coming from our tours like, and we can pass here our search query. Okay, and after that we wanted to navigate towards the search page that we have already registered the route in our app.js file. You can see that here. So here what we have to do first, so we have to bring use navigate from our React router DOM. So from React router DOM we have to bring use navigate. So const navigate is equal to use navigate, and here we can use that navigate. So we wanted to navigate slash tours search, and we can pass here like search query is equal to search. Okay, and in else it will basically navigate back to the home page only. And we have to also adjust our route in our app.js file, so it will be tours. Okay, not just with search, so it will be tours slash search. So let's see whether search functionality is working or not in our application. So let's go into the browser, refresh this one. So I'm going to search the tour with the mention. So search functionality is working in our application, and we also wanted to clear the search input field once you press the enter button. So let's do that one as well. So here what we can do, so it will be like set search will be the empty. Okay, let's go into the browser. So now let's go to the home page and again search with the mention. So search functionality is working now in our application, and the search input field also got clear after pressing the enter button. So the next functionality we are going to implement in this application, like getting the tour by particular tag. So once you click on any tag, you will navigate towards different page in which we are going to show all the tours with respective tag that we are looking for. So I'm going to start with our backend. So let's go into the VS Code, and we have to go to our controller file, that is tour.js, and here what we have to do, so I'm going to just copy this one and I'm going to paste it over here, and this time we have to get all the tours by the particular tag. So it will be get tour by tag, and we are going to receive a tag in the request parameter. Okay, so request parameter, it will be request dot params, and let's remove all this thing. Okay, and here what we have to do, so const tours equal to await tour model dot find, and we wanted to find all the tours that we are looking with a particular tag. So here we have to write a MongoDB query to get all the tour with that particular tag. So we have to write this query, and after that we can send a JSON response, so response.json, and we can send all those tours. So let's format this one, and this one will stay as it is. Now we have to register our endpoint. So let's go to this routes folder, and here, so we can just copy this one, and it will be something like this tag. Okay, and the controller we have to put here like get tours by tag. And for this also authentication is not required. So we have done our backend part. Now let's work on the frontend part. So I'm going to start with the Redux only. So first I'm going to start with api.js file, and here what we have to do, so we can just copy this one first. Okay, let's copy this one, let's paste it here, and it will be like get tag tours. Okay, and we are going to receive a tag from our component, and the API it's like tour tag, and we have to pass the tag that we are receiving from our component. So now after that we have to work on our toSlice.js file. So here what we have to do, so let's just copy this one, let's just paste it over here, and it will be tag tours, and we are going to receive a tag, and here the API will be like tag tours, get tag tours, and we can pass here tag. And now we have to define a initial state for this tag tours. So we are not going to store inside this tours array, so it will having a separate state, so that will be like tag tours, and initially it will be the empty array. And again I'm going to just copy this one, and I'm going to paste it here, because create async thing will generate 3 promise lifecycle, so we have to handle in our extra reducer object. So it will be like tag tours, and here it will be state.tag tours only. Okay, so our Redux part is completed over here. So we need to create a separate page for getting the tour by a particular tags. So first inside this pages folder you have to create one file like tag tours, and let's generate a snippet for now. Now we have to register a route for this page as well. So let's just copy this one, and it will be tours. So it will be tours tag with tag, okay, colon tag, and this time we are going to render a page tag tours. Okay, and we have to also adjust some code for this card component, because we have to convert this tag into a link. So we have to do some adjustment in our card tour component. So let's go into the VS Code, and this tag is going to be converted into a link, and we have already registered our page for tag tours in our app.js file. So we can remove this one, and we can use here link. So we have already bring the link from our React router DOM, so we can use here link. Okay, and so it's going to navigate towards tours tag, and we have to specify our tag. So let's give here tag only, and here we can use like hash with tag. So let's save this file and verify this one in browser. So let's go into the browser, refresh this one. So you can see that our tags got converted into the link, and if you click on any tag you will navigate towards the tag tours page. So you can see that we are able to navigate towards this route, and this route is already registered in our app.js file. So let's work on this tag tours page. So we need to go back to our VS Code, And here let's first go to that tag tours page. So here we have to bring use effect, and we have to bring couple of component from our material design bootstrap to work on this tag tours page. So I'm going to paste the material design bootstrap component over here. So this many component is required in this page. Now after that we need to bring use param and use navigate from our React router DOM. So use param, use navigate, and we also need our spinner component. So let's bring that one as well. And here first what we have to do, so first I'm going to store the reference of use dispatch into a dispatch variable, because we need to dispatch an action once we get the tag in our URL. And we have to also store the reference of use navigate into a navigate variable. So use navigate, and from React Redux we also need use selector. So let's bring this one, and we have already defined the state for tag tours, so we can use here like use selector state dot tour. And what we need here, so we need tag tours. So we need here tag tours from our store and loading. Okay, and let's use here use param. So use param, and we are going to get our tag, and then we can use here use effect. Okay, and so this use effect will run once we have our tag. So if we have the tag, then dispatch an action. So get, so tag tours. Okay, so let's see what action we have created in our tour slice. So it is a tag tour only. So here let's change this one. So I'm going to give the name here like get tours by tag. So get tours by tag. Let's change this one, and let's update here as well. And let's update in our tag tours.js file, and get tours by tag, remove this one, let's save this file. So here is everything is okay, I think. Now let's go into the browser. Okay, so refresh this one. Let's open our dev tool to the bottom, and let's open this one. So for Agra tag we have only one tour, so let's go to the home page and find the common tag. So you can see that test is common in this tour as well as in this tour. Okay, so let's click on this test tag. Now let's open DevTool. Now we should have two tours in our tag tours. So you can see that in tag tours we have got two tours because this test is common in both tours. Okay, so now the next thing, we have to show all the tours with the tag on this page. So let's go into the VS Code, and let's go to this tag tours.js file. So here what we have to do, So here first I have to do, like, if we have the loading, so I wanted to show the spinner component, so return spinner. Okay, so let's save this one, and after that let's remove this one, and inside this div I'm going to have some inline styling. So I'm just going to paste the styling for this div. So this is styling I'm going to use, and inside this div I'm going to have h3 tag with the class name text hyphen center, and we can have like tours with tag, and we can give here tag. Okay, heading. Now we are going to have an HR tag, and I'm going to give an inline styling here, and max width I can give for this horizontal line like 570 pixel. After that we are going to receive a tag tours from our store, so we can check like tag tours if we have dot map, and here we can use MDB card group. We are going to have MDB card with some inline style. Again I have to specify the max width, so I'm just going to copy this one, paste it over here, and it will be 600 pixel. And I'm going to specify the key, so here key it will be like item dot underscore id, and class name let's give here empty hyphen 2. So some margin top I'm going to give over here. Then I can use here MDB row with class name g hyphen 0. Then I'm going to use here MDB column with MD4. Inside that I'm going to use MDB card image, and I'm going to use your class name like rounded. Source I'm going to use here, so it will be like item dot image file. In alternate I'm going to provide title, so item dot title, and it will be fluid. So for now let's format this one, and let's go into the browser whether we are able to see the image or not. So now you can see that we have got our, with this particular tag, that is test, and we have to show some more detail here in our card. So let's do that one as well. So after this what we have to do, so after this MDB column I am going to have one more MDB column, and I'm going to have MD8, and here I'm going to use MDB card body. Then I'm going to use MDB card title. It will be having a class name text hyphen start item dot title. After MDB card title I'm going to use MDB card text. Okay, and here I'm going to use class name text start, and again here I have to use the excerpt. So I can just copy the excerpt from our single tour.js file. So here I don't think we have that one. So it will be present inside this cart tour. So let's just copy this one. And since we are using this excerpt in most of the component and pages, so let's just put inside the utility folder. So let's quickly create one utility folder over here. So utility, and here I'm going to have index file, index.js, and let's just paste over here, and it will be export con, and we are going to receive a string as well as count value, and here it will be the count. We will replace from other component as well where we are using this excerpt. So first let's use this one inside our tag tours. So we have to bring that excerpt from this utility folder, excerpt, and we can use here excerpt straight away. So excerpt, we can pass here item dot description, and we can pass the count, so it will be 40. Now after this mdb cart text, we are going to have div, and here I'm going to have some inline styling. So float, I'm going to give here left, and margin top I'm going to give here -10 pixel. Okay, and I'm going to use here btn, mdb btn, so it will be like read more. So here I'm going to pass some props like size, so size will be small, it will be rounded. Then color, I'm going to give here info, and on click method we have to provide. So once user click on this read more button, so he will navigate towards the single tour page. So let's provide the path here. So tour slash item dot underscore id. Let's format this one, and I think for now we are done. So let's save this file and let's go to the browser. So now you can see that we are able to see the title, sort, description, and read more button. And if you click on read more, you will navigate towards the single tour page. So from there also we are able to navigate towards this specific tour page. So this test tag is common in both tour, and if you click on this tour, so you will get only one tour. Okay, because we don't have any common tag between this tour. So we are done with the functionality getting the tour by tag in a separate page. The next thing, we are going to work on our related tour. So if you click on read more, so I wanted to show the related tour with this tag. So whatever the tag we have over here like India, UP, Agra, so I wanted to show the related tour below this description, and it will be only 3 tour. Okay, so we are not going to show more than 3 tour, we are only going to show 3 tours below this description. So the API may return more than 3 tours when you combine this tag. Okay, but we are going to show only 3 tours below this description. Okay, so we are just going to show the 3 tour under the related tour section. So first we are going to work on our backend part, then we will work on our front end. So let's go into the VS Code, and let's go to the controller file for the tour.js, and I'm going to create a controller for getting the related tour with the combined tags. So I'm just going to copy this controller. Okay, so let's copy this one, let's paste it over here, and it will be like get related tours. And we are going to receive a tags from request body. So it will be request.body, and it will be like const tags. Okay, and here we have to pass tags, and that's it for getting the related tour with the tags that we are going to receive from our request body. So now we have to register a route. So let's go to the routes folder, and here what we have to do. So here I can just copy this one, and let's modify the endpoint, so it will be like related tours. Okay, and it will be get related tours. So our endpoint is registered. Now we have to start work on our front end. So I'm going to start with the API part only first, and we can just copy this one, and it will be like get related tours. Okay, get related tours, and we are going to receive a tags, and it's going to be post request. So API dot post, and let's edit this endpoint, so it will be related tours, and we can pass the tags in the request body like this way. And next thing what we have to do, so we have to work on our tourslice.js file, and here first we can copy this one, this action, and we can just change this one, so it will be get related tours, and this will be get related tour. So action type will be the get related tour only, and we are going to receive a tags, and it will be tag, and endpoint will become get related tour, and we have to also define the state for this one as well. So related tours, and it will be the empty array, and let's copy this one, let's paste it over here, get related tours, it will be, and this will be state dot related tours. So we have completed our Redux part. Now we have to work on our this single tour page. So in the pages folder we have single tour page, in which we are displaying the more information about the particular tour. So below description we are going to show the related tour. So here first we need that tags. Okay, so const tags, and we can get the tag from here, tour dot tags. So if you open the dev tool, so you can see that we have tags over here inside this tour object, which hold the information about the single tour. So here we can get the tags with this way, and we can use here one use effect again. So here I'm going to use one use effect, and this use effect will run once we have the tags, and we can use like this way tags. If we have the tags, then dispatch get related tour action from our tourslice.js file, and we can pass this tags. So we can verify this one first. So let's go into the browser and refresh this one. Let's open the dev tool and let's open this one, tour, and here we have related tours. So it's got rejected. You can see that here it's got rejected. So I'm going to refresh this one again. So something going wrong, cannot make post request. Okay, so I think something wrong with our endpoint. So let's go back to the VS Code and let's go to the routes. So it will be post, okay, not get. So let's go to the browser again and refresh this one. Open the dev tool. So now you can see that it got fulfilled, and let's open this one. So now we have got one tour, okay, related to this tag. So we have tag India, UP, Agra. So it's returning only one tour under the related tour. So the next thing what I'm going to do, so let's go to the home page and now click on this read more, okay, this tour. So now you will get some more tour inside the related tour. Let's open this dev tool. So now we have two tours inside the related tour. So it's returning the current tour as well as the other tour as well. So under the related tour section, we don't want it to show this current tour, okay, because we are already on this page. So we are going to show the different tour under the related tour section, and from there also we can navigate towards the single tour page, and you will understand more once we create that component. So let's go into the VS Code and let's go to this single tour. So we are going to show the related tour below this card body. So here we are going to have our related tours. So now I'm going to create a component inside this component folder. So let's create a component like related tour .js, and let's generate a snippet over here. And after that, what we have to do, so here first I'm going to paste the component that we are going to need from our material design bootstrap. So this many component we are going to use from our material design bootstrap, and we also need link from our React router DOM. So let's bring link, and we are also going to need here excerpt. So let's bring excerpt as well from that utility folder. Okay, and we are going to receive two things from that single tour page, that is related tours and tour ID. So this tour ID is a current ID, and here we can remove this one, and I'm going to use fragment over here. And first we are going to check if we have the related tours, then only we are going to show the related tour section. So this is the first level of checking. So related to dot length greater than 0, that means we have some related tour. After that we have to check like if the related tours have the length greater than 1, that means the API returning more than one tour. And if API return the one tour, that means it return the same tour. So if I go to the browser, so if API return the one tour, that means it return the same tour that is mentioned. So this API will always return at least one tour if you are in single tour page. So we don't want it to show this tour. We always wanted to show the different tour under the related tour section. So if the length is greater than 1, then only we are going to show the related tour section. So here what we have to do, then I'm going to show the related tour sections. It will be related tours. Okay, so we are getting one error here. So here again I'm going to use fragment so that we don't get any issue. So let's cut this out and paste it over here. Now what we have to do, so related tour, I'm going to use here filter. So first I don't want it to show this mentioned tour under the related tour section because we are already on this page. Okay, so under the related tour section we are going to show the different tours if it match with this tag, okay, that we have over here. So that's why I have bring this tour ID. So we have to check with the current tour ID as well to restrict this one. So here what we can do, so here we are just doing a filtering. So item dot underscore ID, if it's not matching with the current tour ID, then we can basically remove all those tour. Okay, so if item dot ID is not matched with the tour ID, then we are displaying the different tour under the related tour section. After that I wanted to show only the 3 tour. Okay, so the API returned more than 3 tours, so we just wanted to display the 3 tour under the related tour section. So we can use here splice method, and after that we can use here map item. After that we have to use MDB column. Okay, and here we have to use MDB card, and here we are going to use link. By clicking on card you can also navigate toward a specific tour page. So here I'm using link, and we can give the path here, and we can specify a tour slash item dot underscore ID. Okay, and here I'm going to use MDB card image. Okay, now in the source we have image file, so item dot image file. Then in alt we have item dot title, and position we can give here top. Okay, so if you click on image you will navigate towards that single tour page. Okay, now after this link we are going to use here span with the class name text hyphen start tag hyphen card. Okay, and inside this span tag we are going to display tag. So tag again I'm going to use here link. Okay, so what I can do here, item dot tags, and here we are going to have tag, single tag, and here again I'm going to use link. So basically by clicking on the tag you will navigate towards that tag page where you can see all the tour with respect to that particular tag. So here I'm going to have the path like tour slash tag, and we can give here tag, and here I'm going to use hash and inside this tag. Okay, so after this span tag I'm going to have MDB card body. Okay, and here I'm going to have item dot title, and this item dot title will be having inside MDB card title. Okay, so let's have MDB card title, and inside that I'm going to have item dot title, and I'm going to have one class name here like text hyphen start. and I'm going to have description as well. So for description, I'm going to use MDB card text. So let's use here MDB card text, and here I'm going to use item.description. So I'm going to use here first excerpt to sort the description. So we can give here like item.description, and we can give count here 5. Okay, and here we have to add that MDB row as well that we have bring. So we can use MDB row here. Okay, and we can use here class name like row hyphen call hyphen 1 row column hyphen MD hyphen 3 G hyphen 4, and we can just cut this one entire thing. Okay, and we can paste inside this MDB row. So let's save this file and let's go into the browser, refresh this one. So I am going to click on this one, this mentioned tour, because it has the common tags like test. Okay, so test is common in both tour. So I'm going to click on this read more. So we are not able to see the related tour because we have to do some more adjustment. So related tour we are using inside this component. So inside this page we are using the related tour. So first we have to bring this one. Okay, related tour, and we are passing the props here like related tour and tour ID. So we need to pass this thing related tours, and let's make sure that we are getting the related tours. So we are not getting the related tour from the store, so we need related tours. So you can see that in dev tool. So we have, so inside tour we have related tours. Okay, in which we have 2 tours because test tag is common in both tour. So related tour is here, and we have the current ID. So we can pass this one. So first let's pass here related tours, and we have to also pass the tour ID, and tour ID nothing but the current ID which we are getting with the help of use params. Okay, and this will be the self closing, and we have to also verify one more thing. So we are using this related tour component, so we have to add the styling for this h4 tag inside this index.css file. So I am going to paste the CSS file for the h4 tag. So this is styling we have to paste for the h4 tag. So you can copy this styling by pausing this video. So I hope you have copied all the styling that we are going to use for the h4 tag. Now let's go into the browser, refresh this one. Now you can see that we are able to see the related tour under this single tour page, and if you click on card you will navigate towards this single tour page only, and the mention will display over here. So you can also switch from here as well under this related tour. So we have completed this related tour section in this application, and you can see that in our code. So in our code we are displaying only 3 tours under the related tour. So if you keep adding the tour with the same tag, then it will get flooded over here. So I have just restricted over here with the 3 tour. So no matter how many tours we have with the particular tag, under the related tour section I am going to show only 3 tour. So we have completed this related tour feature in our application, So before implementing other features like likes and pagination in this application, first I wanted to handle the token expiry in our front end as well. So if you look at our code, so if I go to the tour.js in controller, not in tour.js, user.js. So here we are basically setting the token expiry 1 hour. So token will get expire in 1 hour. So here we are handling the token expiry in our backend, but we are not checking in frontend whether our token get expired or not. So once the token get expired in our frontend, we wanted to basically log out from this application. So if I go to the browser and let me log in. So let's log in with the John Doe. So now you can see that at the moment our user is successfully logged in this application. So the token is going to expire in 1 hour. So to test this functionality, what I can do, so I'm going to adjust the time in my system. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase time by 1 hour. So I'm just going to increase the time by 1 hour. Let's give here. So I'm going to select the month here, March, and the date I'm going to select here 1, and I'm going to set the time to this, okay? And I'm going to change the time on my system. Okay, so current time is 11:20, but I have changed the time on my system. So let's see whether it's working or not. So we wanted to test whether our JWT token got expired or not. So first refresh this application and let's click on this dashboard. Now you can see that we are getting this loader. Okay, so if you look at the command prompt, you can see that we are getting JWT expired. And if I open the network tab and if I refresh this one, so now you can see that it's pending and we don't have any much information from this network tab like what's going on. But in the terminal you can see that our JWT token got expired. Okay, and in dashboard page we are showing only those tours which is created by this logged in user. So John Doe has created one tour, so it should be display, but our JWT token got expired by changing the time on my machine. What we have to do here to fix this issue, so I'm going into my VS Code and I'm going into the header file, so header.js, and here what I have to do, so we have to bring the token from the user. So we have already this one use selected, so I'm just going to cut this one and it should be here ideally. And now I need token. Okay, so const token, and I'm going to check like if we have the token inside this user, then let's have it the token. And here we can check like if you have the token. Okay, so first I need to decode the token. So here I have to install one package like Jwt Decode. So let's go to the client folder and here I have to install one package like npm install Jwt Decode. Okay, so let's install this package. So guys, our package got installed now. So let's close this one, and here we have to first decode the token. So decoded token, and here we have to bring the decode from JWT token. So import decode from JWT decode, and we can decode our token, and we can pass here token, and if decode token, dot expire into 100. So we are checking with the current time here. So new date. So here you are going to get some millisecond here. So we are comparing with this one with our current time, and if it's greater than that means our token got expired. So here we can dispatch this one, set logout. Okay, set logout. Let's save this one, and if you go to the application, now you will automatically redirect to login page in 5 seconds. Okay, so you can see that this is working. So we have handled the token expiry in our front end as well. So this is done in our application. So guys, now we are going to work on pagination in this application. So as you can see that I have already added some tour in this application. So overall I have added 14 tour in this application, and we have to show 6 tour per page. So we have to start working on our backend, then we will work on our front end. So we are going to adjust our existing API. So let's go back to the VS Code. So this controller is basically responsible for getting all the tours that we have in our MongoDB. So we are going to modify this our existing controller. So here we are going to receive a page from our front end in the form of query parameter. So request.query, and I am just going to put a comment, this 2 line. So here first we have to define the limit. So we wanted to show 6 tour per page. So limit will be 6 here, and here we have to define our start index. So start index is equal to, so we are going to receive a page number from our front end, and initially it will be string. So once you pass a page in the form of query parameter, so this page will become into a string. So we have to again convert back into number. So I'm going to use here number. So it will convert into a number, and here I have to give -1 into limit. Okay, so we have to get the starting index of every page. Now we have to find the total. So const total is equal to await, and it will be tour model dot count documents. So basically it will return the total count of the document that we have in our MongoDB, and after that we have to send the JSON response of 6 tour per page. So const tours is equal to await tour model dot find, and let's have a limit, and we are going to pass the limit here. So we are going to send 6 tour per page, and here we have to also do a skip. So we always wanted to send 6 new tour on each page. So on page 1 we have to send 6 tour, then on page 2 we have to send 6 new tour. So that's why we have to skip this one. So we don't want it to send the old tour when the page number get changed. And after that we have to send a JSON response. So response.json, and we are going to send a data. So inside this we are going to send the tours, and we have to also send the current page. Okay, so we are converting this page into a number because it is receiving as a string in the query parameter. And you can also send the total tours. Okay, so it will be like total, and we have to also send the number of pages. At the moment we have a 14 tour in our current application, so it's going to show a number of pages as a 3 because we are displaying 6 tour per page. So number of pages we have to also calculate. So number of pages, and we are going to calculate with simple logic like math dot cell, and here we have to get like total divided by limit. So basically we are doing here round off, and we are done with these changes in our controller. So we haven't added any new API, we have just modified our existing controller. So the same thing we have to do in our front end as well. So let's minimize this one, and I'm going to start with our API part. So this is the API that is responsible for getting all the tour from our backend. So this time it's going to receive a page, okay, and this endpoint will become now this way, okay. So page, and we have to pass this page, and we are going to receive this page from our component. And the same thing we have to also adjust in our tour/.js file. So let's go to this get tour action. So this is our get tour action, okay. So initially it was not receiving any kind of argument from our component. Now it's going to receive a page, okay, and we have to pass this page here in this API. And we have to also define one new state in our initial state. So let's define this one current state, not current state, it will be the current page. So by default it will be the 1, okay. And we have to also define a new action. So new action we are going to create inside our reducer, and we are going to have a action like set current page, okay. It will be state action, and then what we have to do here, so state dot current page is equal to action dot payload. Now we have to export this newly created action. So what we can do over here, so export const tour slice dot action, and it will be set current page. Now we have to also define number of pages as well in our initial state. So here number of pages, it will be null, and we are going to update here in our get tours, and this is going to be modified a little bit, because if you look at our controller, so we are receiving now tours in the data. So likewise we have to adjust this one in our tour/.js file. So now it will become action.payload.data, and we have to also update the state for this number of pages. So action.payload.number of pages, okay. And the same thing we have to also do for the current page as well, okay. So let's save this file, and I'm going to the home.js file from where we are dispatching that get tour action. So in home.js file we are dispatching this action to get all the tours that we have in our backend. So at the moment it's not going to work, so we have to extract the current page, okay. So make sure this is the state we have defined in our tour/.js file. So this is the current page we have to extract from our store, and here we have to pass. this will get dispatched whenever this current page will get changed. So this way we will get new tours on each page whenever user changing the page. So we have to pass this current page as a dependency inside this array. So let's save this file and let's go into browser and verify whether we are getting the 6th tour or not on our first page. So if I refresh this one, so now you can see that we are only able to see the 6th tour in our home page. So this is our first page, and the rest of the tour you will only able to see once we implement the pagination. And if you look at our dev tool, so you can see that in our tour object we have current page and we have a number of page 3 because we have a 14 tour in this application and we are showing 6 tour per page. So the number of page will become 3 and the current page is 1. So now we are going to work on our pagination component. So let's go into the VS Code, and inside this component folder I am going to have my pagination. Okay, so pagination.js, and let's generate a snippet for now. So we are going to bring some component from our material design bootstrap. So for material design bootstrap we need some component to build the pagination. So mdb pagination item mdb btn. Okay, and after that this pagination component going to receive some props from our home page. So it's going to receive a props like set current page, then number of pages, and it's also going to receive dispatch. Okay, now here I am going to have a method render pagination. Okay, and here first I need to check like if the current page is matching with the number of page. So that means we have overall 6 tour or less than 6 tour. So in that case I don't want it to show the pagination, and we have to also make sure that we are on the first page. Then in that case I don't want it to show the pagination. So if the number of pages is matched with the current page, that means overall we have 6 tour or less than 6 tour in our MongoDB. So there is no need to display the pagination. Now after that, if we have the current page equal to 1, then we are going to show the next button along with the page number. And inside that we are going to have mdb pagination, and it's going to be in center, and I'm going to use class name here mb-0, and inside this mdb pagination I'm going to have mdb pagination item, and inside that I'm going to have p tag with the class name f-bold empty-1. Okay, and initially it will be the 1 only, so I'm just going to hard coded this 1, and after that we are going to have a button. So again I'm going to have this mdb pagination item, and inside that I'm going to have button. So inside that we are going to have next button. So I'm going to pass some props like rounded. Class name I'm going to give mx-2, and I'm going to have on click. So in on click I'm going to dispatch a set current page. Okay, so basically it's going to increase the page number, and the value of button will be the next. Let's format this one, and after this MDB pagination, so it's going to be closed here only, and we have to write one more condition. So we are going to have one else if. So if current page is not match with the number of pages, that means we have some more tour in our backend that we have to display once user click on the next button. So here what I have to do, so I'm just going to copy this one, and we have to put inside the return, and now this time this will go above. Okay, so let's cut this MDB pagination item, and it will be here because now this will become previous if user click on the next, and here we have to show the current page. Okay, so it will be the current page, and we have to reduce, so we have to give here like -1 because we are going to back, and we are going to have one more pagination item. So I'm just going to copy and paste it here, so this will be the next, and in that case it will going to increase if we have some more tour, so user can click on next button again if we have some more tour in our MongoDB. After that what we have to do, so we are going to have one else part as well. So else part, that means the user has reached towards the last page, so in that case we just wanted to show the previous button along with the page number. So for that what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to copy this one, so let's copy this one, and I'm going to paste it over here, and I need one closing bracket for this MDB pagination. Let's format this one. So in else condition, that means user has reached towards the last page, and we don't have any tour after this page, so we just have a previous button and the page value. So I think we have completed our pagination component. Now the last thing we have left here, like we can just render the pagination inside this div. Okay, and we can give here one class name empty-2. So let's save this file for now, and let's go into our home page, and we are going to display pagination after this MDB row. So we are going to have pagination component our, and we have to pass some props. So set current page we have to pass. So we need to bring this action. So I think VS Code automatically is going to import. If it's not imported, that means we have to import that set current page action. Now we have to pass number of pages, and I think we have already brought from our store, so I don't think we have brought from our store, so let's bring that one as well, number of page from our store. So let's provide here number of page. We have to also pass the current page, and we have to also pass the dispatch here. Let's save this file, and let's go into the browser, refresh this one, scroll down. So now you can see that we have got our pagination, and I wanted to give some more styling to this pagination. So let's go to the pagination.js, and we can give little bit some more margin at the top. So it will be, let's give empty -4. So now we have little bit margin in our pagination component from this cart component. Okay, now let's refresh this one again and let's click on next. So now you can see that we are getting a different tour on this second page, and you can see that page number is also getting changed, and we have also previous button, so you can also go back. Let's click on next. So now on this page we are going to see only 2 tours. So you can see that we are only able to see the 2 tours, but we are not able to see the previous button along with the tour. So let me check what's going wrong. So let's go into the VS Code, and we have to put inside this into return. So we forget to put inside this return, that's why we are not getting. So let's cut this one and paste it over here, format this one. Now let's go back to browser. So now you can see that we have got our previous button along with the page number, and we don't have any tours, so we don't have any next button here. So overall we have 14 tour in this application. So according to that we have 3 page, and if you click on previous you will navigate back to the second page. You can verify here at the below, and you can also go back to the first page. So now pagination part is completed in this current application. So the next thing, we are going to implement the like functionality in our current application. So user can like any tour. So only authorized user can like a particular tour, and if user is not logged in, so he can only see the like count. Before we implement a like functionality in our application, so we have to adjust some of the things in our MongoDB. So basically we are going to adjust a tour model in our code. So before that we have to just remove this like count from every tour so far we have created. So I'm going to remove this like count property from each tour. So you can remove this one by clicking on this edit icon, and you have to just click on this one and you have to update. So likewise you have to update this one in each tour that we have created in our MongoDB. So I will do that one, then we will start working on our backend part. So guys, I have removed that like count property from each tour that we have in our MongoDB manually. So make sure to remove that one. So let's go back to VS Code, and first we have to adjust our tour model that we have in our backend. So it will be likes, okay, and type will be the array with the string. So basically here we are storing the user ID, and default will be the empty array. So only this much change we have to do in our tour model, and we have to write a new controller to like a particular tour. So at the bottom we are going to write that one. So here I'm going to have export const like tour. It will be async, okay. I'm going to have request response, and so here first we need the tour ID. So which tour is going to like, so which tour is going to like by the user. So we need this ID from our request parameter, and here we have to first check if the user is not authorized. So in that case we won't have user ID. So if you don't have authorized user, so we can give a JSON response like response.json, and we can give a message like user is not authenticated, okay. After that, we have to also check if the ID is valid or not, that is tour ID that we are receiving from this request parameter. So we can copy this line of code. So we can copy this one. So this is the same code is required here as well. So we can just paste it over here. So here basically we are checking if this ID is valid or not. After that, what we can do over here, so we can have like const tour equal to await tour model. So we can find that particular tour with the ID that we are receiving in the request parameter, and then we need to find here index. So tour dot likes find index string request dot user ID. So in the likes basically we are storing the user ID. So first we have to find this index, okay, and here we are basically checking if you don't have the same user, okay, then we have to push that user into that likes array, okay. So tour dot likes dot push request dot user ID, and if user click again on the like button, that means we have to decrease the like count. So we don't want it to insert a duplicate user ID in the likes array. So we have to basically reduce the count from the likes if user click again on the like button. So in that case, what we can do, tour dot likes equal to tour dot likes. We have to filter here ID, and again we have to convert here ID into a string. So we are checking the user ID here. So basically we are inserting user ID only when the user press the like button, okay. Now we have to do here like const updated tour. So we can use here await tour model dot find by ID and update. So we can pass the ID tour and we can give here new with the true. So only it's going to update the likes property. So after that we can send here response dot status 200, and we can send a JSON response like updated tour, okay. Now here we can use try catch. So let put everything inside try block. So let's cut this one and paste it inside try block, and we are going to have catch error, and we can simply just copy this one, and you can also throw the MongoDB error message as well. So what you have to do, so you can just do like error dot message, okay. So in that case you will able to see the MongoDB error message. So you can also do this way. So we are done with our controller part for liking the tour. Now the next thing what we have to do, so we have to register a API for this like tour. So let's go to the route folder and let's go to the tour.js file, and here we have to add the endpoint. So we are going to have the endpoint like router.patch, and we are going to have like with the tour ID, and only authorized user can like the tour, and it's going to have a like tour controller. So backend part is completed over here. Now let's work on the front end. So again, I'm going to start with the Redux part only. So let's minimize this one, and I'm going to start work with the API part. So here I'm going to have a API for liking tour. So we can have like export const like tour, okay, and it's going to receive a ID, and API dot patch, and the endpoint we have like tour slash like with the tour ID. Now we have to work on our tour slash .js file as well. So here we can just copy this one. Let's copy this one because it's almost going to be the same. So we can just paste it over here, and it will be like tour only. It will be like tour, and we are going to receive a tour ID, and the API will be here like tour. Okay. Now this create async thunk will generate a 3 promise lifecycle that we are going to handle in extra reducer object. So what we can do over here, so it will be pretty similar with the update tour, because we have to also show the updated value of like on our front end as well. So we can copy this whole line of code, okay, and we can just paste it here, and this will be like tour, and this will be also like tour, this will be also like tour. And for pending state, basically I'm going to remove this one, because whenever you click on like button, so it will get reload each time. So I'm just going to remove this part and just left it empty. And here I just wanted to update this state.tours, not state.user_tours. Okay, so we can remove this one because user will only able to like the particular tour from home page only. So this is not required over here. And we can also remove this one, state.loading files. So with this, it's going to update on front end, and by calling this API, it's going to update in our MongoDB. Okay, so by calling this like tour API, it's going to update in our MongoDB, and with this changes, it's going to update in our front end. So basically we wanted to change both on backend as well as front end, and we can remove this console log. Now it's not required, so let's remove this one. Let's save this file, and first let's check whether we have any issue or not in our current application. Refresh this one, and if you look at the dev tool, and if you open any tour, so now I don't have that like count. Okay, if I scroll down, so I don't have like count property, and if I go to the top, you can see that I don't have like count property. Let's implement the like functionality now in our UI. So I'm going to have a like button on the right hand side on each card component. So let's go to the VS Code and implement this like functionality. We have to go to our this card tour.js file, and here we are going to have our like button. Okay, so we need to bring MDB btn, and first I'm going to give some props here. So I'm going to start with the styling, so float, and it will be right, and here I'm going to give a tag, so tag will be inside this. Okay, so it will be a, color will be none, and we are going to have here on click method. So let's define this one, handle click, and inside that I'm going to have a like. So it will be a small component that we are going to define here only. Okay, const likes, and initially I just wanted to return a like here. Okay, so I'm going to use here fragment, and I'm going to use here MDB icon. So VS Code automatically import that one, and here I'm going to use FAR icon and thumbs up. And let also define the handle like, otherwise we will get an error. Handle click, so it will be handle like, not handle click. So it will be handle like. So I just wanted to give here meaningful name, so it will be handle like, and for now just it will be empty. And here also we have to adjust, so I'm just going to give here a space using the standard HTML. So NBSP and like we can give here, and first we can verify this one whether it's showing or not. So now you can see that we have got the like button on each card component, and once the user click on the like button, so this icon will get filled. Okay, that means user is already like this tour. So what we have to do over here, so first we have to basically dispatch an action to like the tour. So in handle like we can dispatch that one. We have to bring use dispatch and use selector as well from our React Redux in order to dispatch an action or access the state that we have in our store. So use selector, use dispatch, and we also need a user, so which user is basically liking this particular tour. So we need to bring that user as well from our use selector. So we can get the user like state dot auth. Okay, and we can have user. Okay, so our auth slices register with the auth key. You can see that in dev tool. If I minimize this one, okay, so we have user here. Okay, so at the moment it's null, so we have to log in our application to perform the like functionality. So first let extract this user. Now in our application we have a two-way of login. Either user can log in with normal email and password, or user can log in with the Google. So here we have to first identify the user ID. So either user will be logged in with the normal email password or with Google sign in. So we need the user ID. So const user ID, and we have to like do user result dot underscore ID, and we have to also check here if user is logged in with the Google ID, then we need that ID. Okay, so result dot Google ID, Now we have here user ID, and in handle like we have to dispatch that action. So first let's store the reference of use dispatch into a dispatch variable, and we can dispatch that action that we have created in our tour slice to dispatch like tour, and here we can pass the ID. Now what we have to do here, so first we can perform this one whether it's working or not. So let's go into the browser. So let's refresh this one and let's log in with a user. So I'm going to log in with John Doe. Okay, and let's open the dev tool as well. So our dev tool is opened, and let's click on like. So you won't get the like count as of now. So I have just click on this like button, and let's see whether action is fired or not. So like tour action got fired and it's got fulfilled over here, and we can verify this one. So we have liked the third tour, okay, the third one. So let's open the third one. So let's open this one. So like array is empty for this one. So let me check what is the issue. So the issue is here like we are sending the ID directly. Okay, if you can see that here in our like tour, so we are sending the ID as a normal argument. Okay, so what we have to do here, so we have to receive this ID in the form of object from our component. Okay, so let's change this one at our card2.js file, and let's send this ID as an object. Let's save this file, and here we have to also do some small adjustment. So you can see that from our card tour component we are passing the ID as a underscore ID. So we are receiving this ID and we can pass the ID like this way only. Okay, and we can pass the ID like this way. So now it should work. So here we have to do one more small adjustment. Since we are passing ID as a underscore ID, so what we can do over here, so where is like tour lifecycle, so it will be underscore ID. Okay, so make sure to change this one to underscore ID. Now we won't have any issue. So let's verify this one. So we need to go back to browser. Okay, and let's click on the second one. Okay, I'm going to like this tour, and let's open Redux dev tool. So like tour action got fired. Let's open this one. So we have liked the second tour. Let's expand this one. So now you can see that we are able to store the user ID in this likes array. So our Redux is also getting updated whenever user click on the like button. So now what we have to do, so we have to show the like count, and whenever user click the like button, so we have to fill this like icon. So let's go into the VS Code and complete rest of the feature for this like functionality. So let's go to the card tour.js. Okay, so here what we have to do, so we also need to bring the likes as well. So now this card tour is also going to accept the likes. Okay, and here we can check like if likes dot length is greater than 0, so at least we have one like on this tour. And we have to also check one thing over here, like if user is already like this tour, so we have to fill the like icon. That means we are showing to the user like you have already liked the particular tour. here first we are going to check like likes dot find, and we are going to have like, and we can check here like equal to user ID. So we are matching with the user ID. Okay, so in that case what we have to do, so we are going to use first fragment here, and I am going to use the same icon, but this time actually we have to use font awesome. So basically it will fill the like icon because the user has already liked the particular tour. And we have to also bring one component from our material design bootstrap, that is MDB tooltip. And here what we have to do next thing, so first I'm going to provide the space, some space, so NBSP, and it will be ampersand. And here we are also going to check like if the likes dot length greater than 2. Okay, so here basically we are showing like you and 2 other or 3 other people already like this particular tour. So here I'm going to use MDB tooltip, and inside that I'm going to provide tag, it will be a, and I'm going to give title. Okay, and we can give a message like you, and we have to show the length of like, so like likes dot length, and I'm just going to minus. So basically I am reducing the current user because this user is already like this particular tour. So if we have more than 2 like from different user, then we are going to show this message in the tooltip. And inside this I am going to have the length of like, that means how many user is like this particular tour, so likes dot length, and we can give here likes. Okay, and we are going to have else part as well. So in the else part we are going to show the like count, and we are also going to basically use different icon for this like, because in the else part basically, and in the else part basically we are showing the only like count. So here again I'm going to check like if the likes dot length, so first we are going to count the like, and so it's gonna having some count and it will be like, and here also we have to determine like if the likes dot length greater than 1, that means we have more than 1 like. So in that case I just wanted to append the as keyword, so it will become likes. So in else part it will be just empty screen, that means only we have 1 like for this particular tour. So we have write the else condition for this scenario. Okay, now we have to also write the else condition for this scenario. So here what we have to mention, so here basically we are checking like current logged in user has liked this particular tour, so we are showing all this thing. And in else part, if this tour is not liked by the current logged in user, then what we have to do here, so we are going to use first fragment, and we are going to have MDB icon, and it will be self closing, so it will be FAR icon, thumbs up. Okay, and again I'm going to use here space, so nbsp, and here I'm going to show the like count, like likes dot length, and like dot length is equal to 1. That means we have only one like, and if we have more than, that means we have more likes on the particular tour, so it will be likes. And if you don't have any like on the particular tour, then we are going to show this part, okay, and here it will be the likes, okay. So let's save this file and verify this one whether it's working or not. So let's go into the browser. So now you can see that this tour is already liked by the current logged in user, that is John Doe, okay. And if you like this one, it will get increased, and if you click again on like, then it will get decreased, okay. So you can see that it's getting filled out when the current logged in user like this particular tour. And if you log in with the different user, then you will see the like count, but this will not get filled, so icon will not get filled. So basically here it is representing like you have already liked this particular tour. So now let's log out, and I'm going to log in with the Google. So let's log out from this current application, and I'm going to log in with the Google sign in. So now you can see that we have logged in our application. Now we are able to see the like count which is liked by the other user. And if you click on again this one, so now you can see that we are able to update the like count as well for this different user, okay. And if you click on this one, you will get one like count, okay. So you can see that this like icon got filled once you click on this icon. Now I'm also going to show that tooltip message. So I'm going to log in with the different user. So let's log out, and I'm going to log in this time with the test user. So overall we have 3 users in our MongoDB. So let's log in with this user. Now again you can see that this like icon is not filled, okay. And if you click on this like, it will get filled and the like count will get increased. And if you click on this one, so it will get increased. And if you hover on this one, you will see like you and 2 other like. So we can modify this message like 2 other people like, okay. So it will be little bit meaningful. So let's hover on this one. Now you will see like you and 2 other people likes, and it will not show here, okay. So it will only show once we have more than 2 like for the particular tour. And we have to also restrict this like functionality if the user is not authorized. So let's go back to the VS Code. So in onClick method, we can disable this one based on the user logged in. So we can check here like if you don't have any user inside this result, it doesn't matter whether he is logged in with normal email password or with Google. So we are going to check if you don't have any user inside this result object, that means user is not authorized. In that case it will be null, and in else part we are going to write this handle like. And we have to also adjust this one as well. So we also wanted to show message something like please log in to like tour. So again we can check here like if user is not authorized. So I'm going to show a tooltip message and DB tooltip, and we can give the title like please log in. So it will be in double quotes. So we can give like please log in to like tour, okay. And tag will be A, and we can give here our like component. and in else we can just have our likes. Okay, so let's save this file and verify this one whether it's working or not. So let's go into the browser. So we haven't break with these changes. Now let's log out from the application and let's go to the home page and let's click on this one. So you can see that we are able to see the message like please log in to like tour, and you can also verify this one whether action got fired or not. So our action got not fired, that is like tour action. So we are also able to restrict the user if user is not logged in. So guys, we have implemented the like functionality in our current application. So the next feature we are going to implement in our current application, that is comment section. So we are going to use Disqus commenting system in our application. So we will integrate Disqus in this current application. So now we are going to integrate Disqus comment system on the single tour page. So if you click on read more, so basically we are going to show a Disqus comment section below this related tour section. Okay, so for integrating the Disqus comment system in this application, so first we have to go to the official website of Disqus. So to integrate the Disqus, you have to go to this official website and you have to create an account here. So I'm going to create a new account. So let's click on get started and I'm going to give name here like code with Vishal. Okay, I'm going to give your email and I'm going to give a password. Let's click on sign up and I want to install Disqus on my site, so I'm going to click on this one and I'm going to give your website name like Tourpedia. So let's copy this one and let's give your Tourpedia only, and category let's give here style. Okay, let's click on create site and we have to select this one, basic one. So I'm going to click on subscribe now, and if you have already working on any existing platform, so you can select this one, but we don't have any existing platform, so we are going to select this one. And for now let's keep open this one, and to integrate a Disqus in our application we have to use this code which already have in this GitHub link. So I will provide this GitHub link, so it will be easy to integrate Disqus with this code in our application. So what I'm going to do here, so I am just going to copy this one, and don't worry, I will provide this link in the description so you can easily have this one. So I'm just going to copy this one and let's go to the VS Code, and here we have to create one component like Disqus thread.js, and I'm just going to paste this one. Okay, and in sort name we have to give this name. So whatever it's generated over here, so we have to give this name only. So it will be this one, and for now we don't have website URL, so I'm just going to give here localhost. Okay, and it will be this. Okay, and we need to install this prop types. So let's open terminal in VS Code. So let's install this prop types. So guys, our package got installed, so let's close this one. So you can see that here it's going to receive ID, title, path as a props from our single tour page. So we need to provide this 3 things, and then it will render the Disqus on our single tour page. Okay, so we are done here, and let's save this file, and let's use this Disqus thread component in our single tour page, that is this one. So below this card I am going to show that Disqus thread. Okay, so VS Code automatically import that component, and now we have to pass the ID. So let's give the ID. We have to pass the title. So title we can pass like tour.title. Okay, so tour.title, and we have to also provide the path. So path we can give here like tour this ID. Okay, so let's save this file, and let's go into the browser. Let's refresh this one. So now you can see that we have got our nice Disqus comment section on our single tour page. Okay, and let's click on this one. And guys, you have to also verify your Disqus account. So I'm going to verify my Disqus account. Okay, so now I have verified my account. So now I can post a comment here. So I can give a comment here like this is a nice tour post. Okay, something like I can give here. Okay, so anybody can post a comment here to particular tour. So we are using third-party commenting system over here. So anybody can comment to this post, and in order to post a comment, either you can log in with the Twitter or Facebook. So with that way also you can post a comment. And if I logged in, so let's log in with the John Doe. So I think we have posted a comment on this tour. So let's click on read more. So you can see that yes, we have posted a comment on this tour. So user can log in with a different way like Twitter or Facebook in order to post a comment on this particular tour. So guys, we have added the comment feature in this current application with the help of Disqus. So guys, now we have to work on some small feature and issue that we have in our current application. So on this single tour page, we don't have any kind of back button. So I just wanted to implement one back button. So if you wanted to navigate back to home page, so you can easily navigate towards the home page if you have the back button. So let's add a one back button here. So I'm going to VS Code, and here inside this single tour.js file, I'm going to add one back button. So inside this MDB card body, I'm going to have MDB btn, and inside this it will be having a tag a color none, and style I'm going to give some inline style like float, so it will be left. Color I'm going to give here as 000, and we are going to have one on click method. So we need to bring use navigate from our React router DOM. So use navigate, and we have to store the reference of use navigate into a navigate variable. And once user click on this back icon, so we wanted to basically navigate towards the home page. So let's give here home route, and inside this button I am going to use MDB icon, and here it will be font awesome icon. Then size I'm going to give here large. I'm going to use here icon. So icon will be long hyphen arrow hyphen alt hyphen left. Okay. And I'm going to have a style, so it will be float left. Okay. Now let's save this file and let's go into the browser, refresh this one. So now our page get re-render, and you can see that we have got one arrow here, left arrow. Okay, so if you click on this one, you will navigate back to the home page. So we have introduced this one in our single tour page. The next thing, we have to work on our dashboard page. So let's log in. So I'm going to create one new account here, and it will be John Smith. Let's keep email like johnsmith@gmail.com. 123456 123456. So we have added a new user in our current application, and if you click on this dashboard, now you can see that we are getting this dashboard John Smith. So if new user don't have any tour, so we wanted to show a different message on this dashboard page. So let's go to the dashboard file in our VS Code. So we need to go to our dashboard.js file, and here what we have to do first. So first I'm going to check like if user tours dot length equal to 0, that means we don't have any tour with our current logged in user. So in that case I wanted to show like no tour available with the user. So I'm just going to show the user name here. So I'm just going to copy this one and let's paste it over here. So this is one scenario. Now if user tours dot length is greater than 0, that means we have some tour for our current logged in user. So I'm just going to cut this two line. Okay, and I'm going to use here fragment. Let's save this file and let's go to the browser. So now you can see that we have got message like no tour available with the user John Smith, and you can also make it small, this one. Okay, so this is the message I wanted to display if the current logged in user haven't created any tour. So this is done, and other thing also I have to work on this current application. So let's go to the home page first. Now let's search the tour. So let's search with some random stuff. So you can see that we are seeing this message, and also we are seeing this pagination component. So I wanted to change the message as well as this pagination component also should not display. So let's work on this one as well. So we need to go back to our VS Code, and we have to go to our home.js file. So first we need to bring use location from our React router DOM. So let's bring use location. Now we have to define one function to get the query. So we need this query. So this query we need. Okay, so we have to define one function here to get that query. So use query and return new URL search params. So we can use here use location dot search. Okay, Now after that, what we have to do, so first we need this like query, so const query. So we have to first store the reference of use query into a query variable. Then we need search query, so const search query is equal to query dot get, and we have to pass this value. So with the help of this value we can get this search query value. So we have to use this one. So now we have got this search query, and we have to also store the reference of use location into a location variable. So let's do that one as well. Okay, so after that, what we have to do, so we have to basically modify our existing logic. So first we are checking like if MongoDB doesn't return any kind of tour, so in that case we are going to show like no tours found. And here also we have to do one more level of check, so we have to check the path as well. So if we are in home page, so if we are in home page, then only we are going to show this message. Okay, now I'm going to copy this one and I'm going to paste it over here. And if you are not in home page, that means we are on in search page. Okay, so in that case message will be like we couldn't find any match for, and we can specify our search query. Okay, we couldn't find any match for our search query. And we have to also restrict our pagination. So here we can just simply check like if tours dot length then only show this pagination. Okay, so let's cut this one and paste over here. Now let's save this file and let's go to the browser. Now let's search for some random stuff that doesn't exist in our MongoDB. So now you can see that we are getting like we couldn't find any match for this GYEGF. Okay, but we are getting this 0 as well. So what we have to do over here, so first let's remove one extra double quote, and here we can do something like this. Okay, now let's save this file and let's search for some random stuff. So now you can see that we are getting like we couldn't find any match for this search query. So this is working. Now we have some more issue in our app. So if I open the console, so you can see that first we are getting this warning. So we haven't provided the key actually, so that's the reason we are getting this warning. So let's first add a key in order to identify uniquely each card component. Okay, so we are going to use the ID that we are receiving from our MongoDB. So let's go to the VS Code, and here what we have to do, and here we can remove this one, and here we can give the key like item dot underscore ID. Okay, let's save this file. We have to provide the key here as well for this map function, and here we can use index. Okay, so we can use here key and index. Okay, so let's go to the browser, refresh this application, let's open the console. So now we don't have any warning, and let's go to this tags component. So here also we don't have any warning. Let's go to the add tour. So here also we don't have any warning. Okay, now if you open the terminal, so let's open the terminal. So now you can see that we are getting some warning like use effect has missing dependency, either include it or remove. So we can remove this warning. So what we have to do, so we need to go back to our VS Code and let's check where it's coming. So it's coming inside our dashboard.js file. So what we can do, inside this use effect, so we can give this one. This is a quick fix for this warning. Okay, there are other fix also available for this type of warning, but I am doing here quick fix. Okay, so if you save the file and if you open the terminal, now you can see that warning is gone at that line. Now we can do the same thing in other place as well. So let's go to the home.js file. So here also we can do the same thing, and let's check this one. So in single tour also we have, so let's do that one. Let's open the terminal. So now we don't have any kind of warning in our terminal. So our app is clean now and all the functionality is working as expected. Now it's time for our app deployment. So we are going to deploy our backend on Heroku and the frontend we are going to deploy on Netlify. So first we are going to deploy our backend to the Heroku server. Then we will deploy our UI code to Netlify. So let's work on the backend part first. So let's go to the VS Code. So before deployment we have to do some adjustment. So first minimize our client folder, and here we have to create one environment variable. So .env, because this MongoDB URL should be in environment variable. So in .env file, what we can do, we can just copy this one whole thing, and we can have a key like MongoDB URL. Okay, so this one we have to add. So we can just delete this one entire thing, and here it will be like process.env .mongodb URL. Okay, and this port also we have to adjust. So it will be like process.env .port, and if it's not found then it will run on 5000. And we don't have to add this port variable inside our .env file because Heroku will add this port from their end. So we don't have to add this port inside our environment variable. And to access the value from our environment variable, we have to add one package in our backend. So let's add that package, that is .env. So we have to go to the server and we have to install a package, and we install .env. So our package got installed. Let's close this one, and what we have to do, so let's also remove this one, and we have to bring like .env from .env. Okay, and we have to do like .env.config. So this way you will able to access the value that we have defined in our environment file. Okay, after that what we have to do, so we have to add git ignore file as well. So let's add that one, git ignore, because we don't want it to push our node module. So we need to define here node modules. So you have to add this one. Now we have to add one proc file. So proc file, and here we have to add one script. So this one we have to add. So this proc file is going to enable Heroku to start our app as soon as it is deployed. So we have to add this one line of script. After that what we have to do, so we have to do one small adjustment in our package.json file. So now we are deploying our backend code to Heroku. So since it is a dev dependency, so it will become node, okay, not node-mon. So we have to remove this one before deploying our code to Heroku. So we have to make these changes before we deploy our code to Heroku. Now we are good to deploy our backend code to Heroku. So first let's go to the Heroku website. So I am logging into my Heroku account. So let's click on this new and click on create new app, and let's keep our app name like Tourpedia. So it is available. So let's click on create app. So before you deploy your code on Heroku, you have to install Heroku CLI. So you have to install this one on your machine before you deploy any code on Heroku. So you can install this way. So based on operating system, you can install this Heroku CLI on your machine. Okay, so you can install either this way if you are using Mac, or you can install this way if you are using Windows. Okay, so both option is available here. So let's close this one. Now we have to follow this step. So I'm going to open a terminal here, and I'm going to kill our server. Okay, and we have to also do one more thing before we deploy our code. So we have to register one route here, because I don't want our app get crash, okay, once you load into the browser. So we can have like request response and response.send, and we can give here message like welcome to Tour API, okay, something like this we can give here. Now let's save this file. Okay, now we can proceed with our deployment. So let's go into the browser, and we have to follow this step. So let's open the terminal. So first I'm going to clear this one. So let's minimize this one little bit. So it will be like Heroku login, and you have to press any key. So let's press any key here, and it will open one new window, and let's click on login button. So now we are logged in. So let's close this tab, and let's open the terminal. So now I'm going to clear this one again. So now after that what we have to do, so we don't have to follow this step because we are already on this server folder. Now the next step what we have to do, so git init. After that let's copy this command, let's paste it over here, hit enter. Now let's do git add dot, so it will add all the file. Now git commit, and we can give a message like deploying Tour API. Okay, now let's copy this command, the last one, and let's wait for the deployment process complete. So you can see that it's installing dependency node module, and it will deploy within 1 minute. So you can see that it's added the package, and now we have got the message like build succeeded, and it's going to launch very soon. So our app got deployed here. So you can see that on this URL we can access our backend API. So let's copy this one, and we can verify this one in new tab. So now you can see that we are able to see like welcome to tour API, and you can also access your data that we have in our backend. So if you're giving like /tour, so you will get all the data that we have in our MongoDB. That means we have successfully able to deploy our backend code to Heroku. Now it's time for our front-end deployment on Netlify. And before we do deploy our UI code to Netlify, we have to do some adjustment in our front-end code as well. So let's go to the VS Code and let's minimize this one. Let's open this one, and first I'm going to create one env file. Okay, so inside this environment file we are going to have couple of key and value. So we have to specify our dev URL and prod URL. So React app dev URL. So our backend is running on localhost 5000. So we have to specify this one localhost 5000. And now we are also going to have prod URL. You can give here like API, React app dev API and React app prod API. Okay, so for prod we have to use this one. So you can copy this one and you can paste it over here. After that we are also going to use React app sort name for our Disqus comment section. So React app sort name, and it will be this one. So let's go to the Disqus thread, and it will be Turopedia. So let's copy this one, let's paste it over here. We are also going to have website URL for our Disqus comment system. So React app website URL. Since we don't have any domain name till now, so we can just give here http localhost 3000. Okay, so let's save this file, and here we have to do some adjustment in our Redux folder. So here what we have to do, so first we have to verify whether we are in development environment or production environment. So we can define one variable. So this will check like if we are in dev environment or production environment. So if process.env .node env is not equal to production, that means we are in development environment. Okay, and from process.env we have to destructure our prod API and dev API. So let's go to the .env file, and we can just copy this one. We can just paste it over here. Okay, now this base URL we need to change. So based on the environment we have to decide whether we are in dev environment or in production environment. So we have to choose the API here. So if we are in dev environment, so we have to use our dev API, else we have to use prod API. Okay, so let's save this file And we have to also do one more adjustment in our login.js file. So for sign in with Google, we are going to use a different client ID. So let's create a separate client ID for our production environment. So I'm going to create a credential for Google login in our app. So now I'm going to create a separate credential for our production environment. So let's click on create credential, OAuth client ID, and I'm going to choose web application, and the name I'm going to give here like tour app prod. Okay, and rest of the thing I will add later once we have a site name from our Netlify. So let's just click on create. So our OAuth client is created, and we can copy this one client ID. Okay, and let's go to the VS Code. So for now I'm just going to paste it over here. Okay, so here also we have to determine whether we are in prod or dev environment, and unfortunately we cannot paste our this Google ID in a environment variable. So it will have issue if you try to paste the separate client ID for dev environment and production environment the way we have done for this our backend API and production API. So it won't work in case of the client ID. So we have to do it on the login page itself. So let's go to the login.js file, and here I'm just going to copy this line of code from api.js file. So we can just copy this line of code and we can just paste it over here. Okay, and we can have here like const client ID. Okay, and if you are in dev environment, then we are going to use this client ID that we have used so far. Okay, this one. So let's cut this one, and if you are in prod, then we are going to use this one that we have just created now. Now after that what we have to do, so let's just copy this one and paste it here. Where is Google login? So here we have to put okay. Okay, and we have to also adjust in our Disqus thread component. So let's go to this file, and so now we have to adjust in this component as well, that is Disqus thread. So let's remove this two line, we don't need this two line, and we can use here like process dot tnv dot sort name. Okay, here also it's going to be process dot tnv dot sort name, and for website URL also it will be process dot tnv dot website URL. So let's check the terminal whether we have missed anything or not. So since we have this environment file in our UI code, so we have to restart our React development server in order to get the value from environment file. So let's kill the server, and we have to also verify whether the functionality is working or not after making changes in our UI code. So let's restart the server, and let's wait for the application load into the browser. So our application successfully load into the browser, and it look like we haven't break anything because we are able to render the data from our MongoDB on our home page. Okay, so let's try to log in. So I'm going to log in with Google because we have changed some logic related to Google sign in our code. So let's see whether it's work or not. So this is working as usual, and let's go to the dashboard and let's delete one tour. Okay, so this is working. Okay, let's update one tour. Okay, India Gate, let's give Delhi. Let's click on update. So it seems like everything is working. We haven't broke anything with our latest changes on our UI code. So now it's good to deploy. So what we have to do here, so let's open the terminal, and we have got some more warning. So let's fix this warning. Okay, so what we can do here, so again we can use the same thing like we did earlier. So we can just put this comment, and let's do here as well in tag tours. Let's verify whether we have some other place or not. So we have also in our add edit tour. Okay, so here also we have use effect. Let's remove this one, loading. Now let's open the terminal. Now we don't have any warning in our terminal, so it's good to deploy our UI code to Netlify. So I'm going to kill the server, and we need to generate a build file in order to deploy on Netlify. So I'm going to do like npm run build, and let's wait for the build folder that is going to generate. So it will be a optimized production build only. So it will take around 1 minute to generate that build folder. So let's wait for that one. So it look like our build folder got generated over here. So we can check this one. So you can see that our build folder got generated over here. So now we are good to deploy on Netlify. So let's go to the Netlify. So you have to create an account on Netlify. So I have already created an account on Netlify, and you have to click on this one site. Okay, so I'm going to drag and drop our build folder here, and this is our build folder. So I'm just going to drag and drop this build folder. Okay, so it will take around 10 seconds to deploy our code. So you can see that it's got deployed. Okay, so we have got this URL. Now let's open the link in new tab. So we have successfully able to deploy our UI code to Netlify, and if you click on login, then you can see that we are getting this message. So in order to deploy a React application with a router, so we have to do some small adjustment in our code. So before we do that, so let's first change the site name here. So we can change the site name. Okay, so let's give here Tourpedia. Okay, and let's click on save. So we have this site name. Okay, now let's close this one. Okay, so we have our site name. So let's first copy this one, and I'm going to paste it here in our environment file on client side. So let's remove this one, and in order to deploy our React application with router, so we have to do some small adjustment. So we have to create one file here, and it will be like redirects. Okay, and I'm going to paste something over here. So you have to add this one, then only routing based React application work on Netlify. So let's do these changes, and let's redeploy our application on Netlify. So let's generate again build folder, npm run build. So our build folder got generated over here. So let's minimize this one, and let's go to the Netlify first. and we wanted to deploy this one, so we can click on this one, deploy. Okay, and we can again drag and drop this build folder, and let's wait for some time. So it's uploading, you can see that here. So our deployment is progress. So now I think it's deployed. You can see that it's got published. So let's close this one and let's reopen this link and let's click on login. So now you can see that this time we are able to navigate in our application. Okay, and let's verify whether this functionality is working or not. So I'm going to log in with John Doe. So login functionality is working in this current application after deploying our app on Netlify, and you can add a new tour. So let's add new tour here first. New tour. Let's add some description. Let's keep some tag like test new. Let's add one image. Let's click on submit. So we are successfully able to add our tour. So it will add at the end. So let's click on next. So pagination is also working. Let's click on next because it added at the last. So you can see that this tour got added successfully in our application after deployment. So pagination is working. Let's see dashboard page. So our dashboard page is also working after deployment, and let's go to the home page and let's click on read more. So we are getting some issue. So our Disqus commenting system is not working after deployment. So I'll fix this one and let's perform the search operation as well. So I'm going to search with the new here. So this is also working, you can see that, but we have issue with our pagination. So I will also fix this one. Okay, and let's log out from this application. So now let's try to log in with the Google in our application. So you won't able to log in with the Google, so you are going to get this error message. So to fix this one, what we can do, so this is our URL. Okay, and let's go to the Google credential. Okay, so we have already created our new credential for our production environment. So let's click on this one and we can add URI here. So it will be just .app, and for redirect URI we can add that one. Okay, and we can save this one. So it might take some time to reflect. Okay, so guys, now I'm going to log in with Google. So let's click on this one. So you can see that we are successfully able to log in with Google as well in our current application. So let's solve those two issues that we have in our application. The first one is like we have to display the Disqus comment section in the single tour page, and the second issue we have like if we search any specific tour, so we don't have to show the pagination. So let's fix these two issues and redeploy our UI code on Netlify. So if you look at our environment file, so we have to use here React app sort name. Okay, so this thing we are missing here, so it will be React app sort name. Same thing will goes for here as well, and same thing will goes for this one as well. Okay, React app underscore website URL. Now we have to solve the pagination problem when user is searching the tour. So in case of searching the tour, we are not going to show the pagination. So let's go to the home.js file, and what we have to do, so we can use this variable, that is search query. So if you have any value inside this search query, that means user is performing the search operation in our application. If there is no search query, then only you show the pagination. Okay, let's verify this one first. So let's open the localhost 3000. So now let's search the tour. So now we are not showing pagination in case of searching the tour. So let's also verify whether our Disqus comment system is working or not. So let's click on read more. So this is working. So now let's generate a optimized build folder. So our build folder got generated over here. So now I'm going to redeploy our UI code on Netlify. So let's deploy this application on Netlify, and let's drag this one, and I'm going to drop here. So you can see the progress here. So you can see that this is the build folder that I have deployed, and deployment in progress. So currently there are some issues going on Netlify. So I'll be back once our code get deployed. So guys, our deployment is complete over here. So I had to cancel my last deployment, so I have redeployed again. So you can see that it got published, and let's click on this link. So we are able to load all the tour that we have in our MongoDB. So let's click on read more. So now we have here Disqus commenting system, and you can log in with either Facebook, Google, or sign in order to reply any post, and you can also post a comment here. So let's give here like, this is nice post. So I think you have to log in order to post any comment. Let's log in here with Google Plus only. So now let's click on post as Vishal. So we are able to post a comment on the tour, and let's also verify the search functionality. So we don't want it to show the pagination in case of searching the tour. So this is also working. So in case of searching the tour, we are not displaying the pagination. So we don't have to show the pagination if user is trying to search the tour. So guys, we have completed this full stack MERN project using React, MongoDB, Express, and Node.js along with Redux-Toolkit. And I hope you have really enjoyed building this MERN project with me. So if you like my work, then please like this video and share this content with your friend and colleague, and don't forget to subscribe this channel. I will see you in other video. Till then, goodbye and take care.